Yes, welcome back to another episode of Beeple Reactions. And if you did not know already, Beeple is an artist behind the most expensive NFT ever sold. It sold for $69 million, and it consists of 5,000 individual images combined to make one super image, one grand image, and each image tells its own story, has a real deep meaning behind it. And these images are just pretty damn cool. You should check them out for yourself. Link in the description to Beeple's website where you can go see his gallery. I'm not getting paid to promote him, but I think since I've made a YouTube channel about him, it's only right I promote him. Now, into today's video, the image we're going to be reacting to is named Reset Button. I'm going to put it right here. The name of this image is Reset Button. That's what the artist has named it, Reset Button. Now this is a pretty cool image. It strikes me as an post-apocalyptic city. As you can see, the buildings are deteriorating, the buildings seem ruined, there is a massive flood. We're looking at a city metropolis type of location. We see some traffic lights, and what's quite funny about this image is how the traffic lights still work. As you can see, the green man has shown itself, which shows the traffic light is still working, but it's of course of no use because this street is flooded. The street is filled with water, and you can see the moon during the daytime. That's something quite peculiar about this image, is that we can see the moon despite the fact that it's the daytime. The birds are still flying. You know, regardless of what's going on in the city, post-apocalyptic, non-apocalyptic, the birds are still going to fly. And there's two main people within this image, not even people. One is a frog, and one is a person in what appears to be a rescue boat. And it looks like New York because the street sign looks like the type of street signs you'd see in America, and the traffic lights are the type of traffic lights you'd see in America, not in the UK, not in any European country. So this definitely looks like post-apocalyptic America. Now from the jump, this image makes me think of global warming. A lot of scientists and a lot of people on TV are talking about global warming, how if we keep ruining the earth, humans just love to ruin the earth. If we keep making these factories, we keep emitting pollution, we keep driving cars, the earth is going to keep warming up, and global warming is going to happen. And they say the main consequence of global warming is that the entire world is going to flood, and we're all going to be flooded. I've heard something like Amsterdam, the city of Amsterdam, is going to be flooded in like 10 years time. I've heard all sorts to do with global warming, but this image makes me think of global warming. A day will come where the weather will destroy the cities, flooding will destroy these cities. These cities were not made to last forever. It could be the most luxurious city, London, New York, Dubai. The way these cities are built, the way these buildings are built, they're not made to last forever. There will come a day where, God forbid, these cities will come to ruin. There will come a day, and this is exactly what this image is trying to depict. Now I did some research prior to looking into this image. I did some research into frogs because of course a frog has a massive part to play in this image, and I learned two main things. One is that frogs are carnivores. Frogs only eat meat. I thought frogs eat vegetables, I thought frogs eat leaves, but it turns out frogs are carnivores. They eat other insects, they eat other species. And of course we have a rescue boat. The second thing I learned about frogs was that frogs are nearly extinct. Frogs are going extinct. And I believe this massive frog represents the human who survived. The human who survived this apocalypse, the human who survived this flooding, who, of course, if you've survived a post-apocalyptic world, if you've survived the apocalypse, if you've survived the flooding, if you've seen everything you've known and loved, for example, the city being torn down in front of your eyes, you're not going to come out the same person, you're not going to act the same way. So this frog represents the person who has survived the apocalypse, the person who has gone through mental changes, gone through physical changes, gone through adaptive changes. And as I said earlier, frogs are carnivores. Perhaps, and another thing about frogs is that they wait for their prey to come towards them before they attack. It looks like this guy who's coming to rescue him is going towards him, and it looks as if the frog is waiting. So this person's going to help the frog, trying to rescue him, the frog being the human who has survived the apocalypse, whereas this human is looking at the rescuer as someone to eat. He's looking at him as a meal. That's what I see from this image. And also, frogs are almost going extinct, as in, you know, in this apocalyptic setting, humans are going extinct. So yeah, man, this makes me think of global warming. This makes me think of how, you know, the post-apocalyptic human is looking to eat the person who saved them, because he's in just such a messed up state of mind because of what he's seen and what he's been through. And yeah, one question I want to ask to everyone watching is that, do you think a day will come where the city will turn to ruin, where all these big cities, these grand cities with massive buildings and massive monuments, and you know, every big city is built on pride. I live in London City, and this city was built on a lot of pride, as is New York, as is Dubai, as is Paris, as is every other main monument city across the world. These cities are built on a lot of pride and a lot of patrioticness. I'm not sure if that's a word, but I just made it a word. But you know, will these cities come to ruin one day? Will there be a day? Perhaps it's nature, perhaps it's global warming, perhaps it could be cyber attacks. You know, because cyber attacks are a very real possibility. In fact, Beeple actually has a video on his website all about cyber attacks and the possibility of cyber attacks. You know, he's not known for making videos, he's known for his images, but he does have a few videos which I actually wouldn't recommend watching, because if you've watched them, you'll know why I wouldn't recommend watching them. They're a bit weird, as is everything Beeple does is a bit weird. Not judging the guy, but he's a bit weird. And yeah, man, so that's what I got from this image. Leave your comments down below. What did you see in this image that I didn't see? What do you get from this image? What are your opinions? What is your interpretation? One thing I've noticed about the word Beeple is that the word Beeple sounds like the word Bible. You know, and Beeple doesn't speak words, he speaks through images. So perhaps this is like the Bible of the new generation. Anyways, leave a like, leave a comment, and don't forget to subscribe. Till next time.